Wow. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my! Oh no! Take it! Take it! Take it! That was expensive! You should be watching. I should be watching Jill Nye instead of Bill Nye. What is wrong with me? Hey Luke, what do you think about going to the lab and showing them how these work? Are you ready to go? So we just hit almost about 180 degrees. Now that's an obtuse angle. Now it also uses an M-lacing system, which means it takes the thread, or not the thread, it takes the wires, like that little thing, and it goes around the thread and goes into your TV. This is what your grandma and grandpa used. They used box TVs. Also meant that the player looked about like, hang on, chalk out. The player looked about like this. Big and boxy. Well, not that boxy, but about this big. And then your TV would usually be on top. And this would be down here, which would be your VHS thing. So what happened is you would shove the VHS tape in there. The VHS tape would usually say like, SpongeBob wouldn't hear on that. The Wild West. The Wild West. Now the Wild West is like Western film. More of pew 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 pew. And now we're going to talk about DVD. DVD is a lot different. DVDs are like video game discs. Video game discs. They use a laser that premieres on the disc while the disc is spinning, and usually the disc says like PlayStation 2 or DVD. Now, what the laser does, it almost reads the information that's on the disc. So if you're just supposed to get scratched or damaged, it ain't gonna look right. So that also means that like this goes up to the player, and the player presents to a TV. The TV uses almost paper and like not paper, but like glass, and shows it onto a screen, OLED HD that makes them. So a TV almost looks like this is a flat screen TV. You should have some speakers to go with them. The speakers work from a little plug-in that you plug into them, and they would bring noise from your iPhone, or something like that. They use Bluetooth waves. But before we had Bluetooth, we had wire, which would go into your iPhone. How does an iPhone work? It's a TV but smaller, or a computer that's smaller. A computer usually plays like video games and stuff. It uses microchip and stuff like that to get that information onto that screen. Now, if the screen was broken or the battery wasn't charged, you know what would happen? What would happen? You wouldn't be able to do it. The battery is usually focused in this area, or you would plug it in using wire. Also using a plug-in. Plug-ins get electricity from power plants. Now, we can make another video about power plants one day, but whatever technology. You guys' phones can put out pretty good looking YouTube videos like this one. And they used to use this, but now they use more of a phone technology. So we have, I'm gonna get the phone right here. This phone is an iPhone 8. You turn it on and you got this little button. And then, yeah, that's how a phone works. Now a phone has a battery and a microchip in here. They have a camera. How does the camera work? We're trying to figure that out. Well, cameras usually use pixelated systems. Pixelated. Now we have a lot of forms of cameras. Again, topic for another video. But the way cameras work is they use pixel to get their pixelated images out. Like a stick man right here. That's picture taken. He comes out using print, using the data that the camera collected. Okay, next. CD. A CD is like a DVD, but instead of reading video or video games, they were a lot smaller. That's what they called CD for compact disc. They use a laser. They go whamp. That's too big. But now we're gonna talk about the record. What does the record do? The record almost scratches it with that. It makes beautiful noise. I actually have a record at home. I should have bought it today. So I'm gonna go to VHS tape. You guys can wait right here looking at all my beautiful drawings. Here it is. This is when we threw down the hill on that first video. You guys can see it actually uses film. The film is stored in these little circles, and that's where we learn about the M-lacing system. The M-lacing system is like something you learn in science class, but it's really not. So, I'm going to wipe out the whiteboard real quick. The M-lacing system almost takes the tape and uses it. Now you're like, what do radios use? Well, I don't really know that. Topic for another video. But most radio stations use Bluetooth sound waves. That's what we use nowadays to connect video game controllers to your video game consoles, anything like that. But we're putting an enlacing system. So we have a spiral that's using the player, which you learned about here. The spiral takes the film, and then the film gets seen by like probably another laser, and that probably sends it off to the TV. And then when it gets off to the TV, then you get to watch your beautiful Western or Batman films. Now the cameras, because now we can film cameras on an iPhone, but back in the day we used to film it on a big bulky one, which was really big and really hard to carry around. So as evolved happened when Steve Jobs invented the iPhone, then we got smaller cameras where we can get amazing pictures anywhere, anytime. That's the evolution of the camera. But we've also we've also evolved on the way we watch TV. We have went from VHS tapes to DVDs, and we also have went to iPhones now, like Netflix or Paramount Plus or Prime TV. We can watch all of our favorite shows anywhere, anytime, as long as you have Wi-Fi. Well, what's Wi-Fi? Topic for another video. That's a lot of stuff to go through. But we know how we've evolved from this to a circle that has a laser on it that can make video games and everything like that. It doesn't matter what you have. It only matters about what you do have. But like the cameras even evolved. We have big bulky cameras to small cameras like our iPhone. You know, like we have evolved. We didn't realize we've evolved. We have formed batteries that we can make our hearts pump. You know, we've evolved through everything we used to use. Like from chalkboards to smart screen TVs. Or like smart boards. The smart board right here, this is a projector. Also, projectors work by projecting light onto a screen that will show the light. Pretty simple and easy. But like the PlayStation 2, for an example. It was evolved really because they figured out that they could make DVD discs that could play video games. What do video game cartridges look like before we had this disc? Let me show you. The Nintendo 64 used to have big, bulky cartridges that would go into the Nintendo, the first Nintendo. And then we evolved to say, okay, let's go with more compact. And then we turned to this, and then we turned to this, to this, turned to this, to a DES, which is like a smaller version of this. And then we go new, new, new. And then we formed the Nintendo Switch, the newest portable game console of all time. See that? That's pretty small. That is about the size of my pinky finger. That can go into a cartridge and play full-fledged 4K video games. Isn't that cool? Just think about that. We went from this, what about the size of my whole hand, something about the size of my pinky finger. That's evolving. I mean, we've evolved. We used to have bulky TVs. We have sized down. Everything we can fit in our pockets now. Heck, you know what a phone can do? Play video games, play TV, watch movies, watch your favorite TV shows. Take pictures, take videos with it. Back in the day, we didn't have any of this. Any of this. When we started evolving in the early 1900s, we had the first car. Cars have evolved. Okay? Cars have went from old cars like this, that barely ran, to cars that are now the size, the 18-wheelers. 18-wheelers. We went from 4 to 18 wheels. The first tractor was a small tractor built by John Deere. And then we moved up to big tractors. We had really big tractors. Then went to size, the same horsepower that the steam tractors had back in the 1800s, something about the size of a table. One table. How do we evolve like this? I know why. It's because of these great inventions.